Perhaps the single event that changed Dennis Barry forever happened April 7th. That's the day Robert Mapplethorpe, the Perfect Moment exhibit, opened at the Arts Center to the general public. The police, doing something that's never been done before, entered the museum to notify Barry he had been indicted by a grand jury.
Leave the premises.
Have a statement in a little while.
A lot of things went through my mind. Everything from fear to concern for what was going on to a sense of outrage. There was the outrage when they actually came in because they had violated a museum, and I had never seen that happen, at least in our nation.
Nobody could say that that art was not challenging, and that for some people it was a bridge too far. We never got into the position as a funder of arguing about the art. Our goal was to talk about the value of the institution, and that the Contemporary Arts Center, all that it has done for the community, all it continues to do.
I think the Robert Mapplethorpe trial and the controversy surrounding it really affected the national dialogue about arts funding. It put a spotlight that conservative lawmakers were seeking on federal funding for the arts. The way that the controversy is discussed these days really depends on the room that you're in and the context that you're in. When I am in a room of my national peers, we are always recognized as an example of what could go wrong when presenting challenging work, but also how to maintain steadfast support for artistic creation and freedom of expression. I think when we're in Cincinnati, it is often looked upon as almost a blemish on the history of this city, that we care so deeply about presenting ourselves as a modern city, as a city that thinks progressively and moves progressively.
Our board leadership, which was really amazing at that time, they had two primary goals. We have to make our campaign goal. We cannot let this hurt the funding for the arts. And we also have to make sure that the Contemporary Arts Center gets enough designated gifts that they stay whole. And so they did that. We were successful in both, through a lot of heroic efforts, through a lot of extra giving from people who really supported those goals.
We, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled and sworn, do find the defendant not guilty of pandering obscenity.
It wasn't just a victory for me or for the Contemporary Arts Center. It was truly a victory for the city. The city in one moment redeemed itself from 8 months of darkness.
I think the Mapplethorpe trial is such an important building block in our history, being founded by 3 young women in 1939 at the onset of World War II. Fast forward to the Mapplethorpe trial, fast forward to us having commissioned the first museum building designed by a woman architect. All of these points in our history remind us of how progressive we've been as an institution over the course of 80+ years. And so we always have that in mind as we're thinking about the exhibitions that we want to show, the stories that we want to tell, and the voices that we want to uplift.